Coming up on AgweekTV, the new EPA administrator and U.S. Trade Rep are confirmed. We'll get reaction. The acreage battle heats up in the region. We'll find out what farmers intend to plant for 2021.
A father and son are having fun in the livestock business in southwest Minnesota.
We'll take a look at how Minnesota looks to catch up meat processing capacity up to producer need.
Welcome to AgweekTV. I'm Michelle Rook. More key positions have been approved in the Biden administration important to agriculture. Michael Regan was confirmed as EPA administrator and has indicated a willingness to work with the ag community. Regan met with farm groups prior to his confirmation hearings and talked about the importance of agriculture to the economy. He also detailed his work regulating the pork industry in North Carolina.
I feel very comfortable that he's got the knowledge and the base. He also talked about the importance of making sure that your regulation doesn't go so far that you're making operation and production impossible.
Speaking on the Ag Week virtual farm show, Gould says agriculture won't agree with Regan on every issue, but farm groups were promised they'd have a seat at EPA's table. The biofuels industry is also optimistic about Regan's commitment to upholding the renewable fuels standard. U.S. Trade Representative Katherine Tai was also confirmed by the Senate. As House Ways and Means staff lawyer, Tai worked on numerous trade negotiations, including the USMCA and TPP. Her experience is getting high praise from Washington insiders.
I don't know that I've ever seen someone nominated to be the USTR ambassador that I'm as excited about. I just think she brings in great background.
Tai was also named chief counsel for China trade enforcement in 2014 and has a history of holding China accountable. Former House Ag Committee Chair Collin Peterson is stepping into an ag policy consulting role, working with lobbying firm Combest and Associates. Peterson says he's had many calls from people asking him to stay engaged in farm policy, so the job is a good fit. Farm groups are excited about the move, but especially the American Sugar Beet Growers Association, as Peterson was a champion for sugar policy.
We expect to continue our relationship with Mr. Peterson and ramping that up into the next farm bill. So he's not going anywhere, and we love him in Congress, but he's an advocate for agriculture in any form.
Peterson won't lobby in the next year, but will engage with various sectors of the ag industry. He will continue to operate from Minnesota. Every year, there is a need for one commodity or another to buy acres going into spring planting. What makes this year different is that so many crops are competing for acres. While corn and soybean prices are at 7 to 8 year highs, specialty crops like canola are also getting in on the action, with prices at record levels. Add in rising fertilizer prices, and the battle gets even more explosive. U.S. farmers are expected to plant a record 90 million soybean acres, up nearly 7 million from 2020, due to historically tight ending stocks and high prices. Where acres come from depends on the state.
It does look like some of those acres might switch back to soybeans instead of a corn-on-corn rotation, just where the price point is and the potential yield.
The people that might change is the people that are planting corn on corn on corn. There might be a possibility that they go take some of those acres and boom to soybeans, because soybeans are profitable.
For South Dakota specifically, they're anticipating more acres of beans again this year. And I think maybe some of that will come out of wheat acres.
The trade is also estimating 2 million more acres of corn, but with skyrocketing fertilizer prices, that may be a tough lift for those that didn't make applications last fall.
Yeah, we had a good fall, so we were able to get all of our fertilizer on, so we had our decision made for us.
Another wild card is what farmers seed into prevented plant acres. North Dakota alone had nearly 3 million PP acres that could come into production with the dry soils.
There's some guys in central North Dakota, there's a lot more corn booked right now than there was a year ago. A lot of that has to do kind of with the PP we fought in 19 and 20.
So the market may still have some work to do to buy the acres each commodity needs, especially corn versus beans.
If we see a little bit more rally in the market and beans get to that 2.5 to 1 threshold, even a little bit higher, I think we might see it move a little bit more towards soybeans, but I think it's going to take that higher end to get there.
But Mother Nature may have the last say, especially with drought conditions in much of the western Corn Belt. We'll take our first look at what farmers' intentions are on the March 31st USDA Prospective Plantings Report. Sunflowers will also compete in the oilseed acreage battle with soybeans due to the current record demand and prices for global vegetable oils. 80% of the value of sunflowers is based on veg oil values. As a result, old crop sunflower prices are up $5.50 per hundredweight since the marketing year started, and new crop prices have followed, making it a profitable crop to plant in 2021.
Our new crop prices, we've gone up $4.30 a hundredweight. That's a 25% increase here just in the last month. Right now, I think sunflowers are in a very good position to add acres on the oil side, especially because of this oil demand that we do have.
Sandbakken says U.S. farmers produced 1.5 million acres of oil-type sunflowers in 2020, up from 2019. Yields hit a new national record of 1,800 pounds. Canola is also expected to attract additional acres in 2021 with near to record high prices in the U.S. and Canada. Old crop canola has rallied more than 50% off the lows to the upper 20s to over $30 per hundredweight range. New crop prices are also about 30% above a year ago at around $22 cash, which makes it a profitable option. U.S. farmers planted 2 million acres in 2020, with North Dakota accounting for 1.55 million. However, acres in the state could rise to 1.8 to 2 million this season. Pat Murphy, a canola grower and president of the Northern Canola Growers Association, says it's a very positive outlook.
I look for acres to keep coming. I think one of our real bright spots is the U.S. Domestic consumption just keeps increasing. I honestly don't know if we can produce too much.
Stats Canada also predicts canola acres in Canada will be up 3% over 2020. Fertilizer prices are already skyrocketing, but a ruling by the International Trade Commission may add insult to injury. The U.S. is imposing countervailing duties on phosphate fertilizer imports from Russia and Morocco for the next 5 years. Mosaic asked for the investigation, and the ITC ruled these imports have negatively impacted the U.S. market. Next week, we'll talk to farm groups about how the duties will further increase fertilizer prices. Coming up on AgweekTV, the meat processing industry continues to expand to meet growing demand spurred by the pandemic.
Superior Grain Equipment is committed to quality and service. Protect your bottom line and your future with superior quality, protection, and reliability. Make the superior choice today with Superior Grain Equipment.
They say when the going gets tough, the tough get going. At OK Tire, we're here to keep you going. From Firestone tires and replacements to retreads and even Firestone tracks, we have you covered. Our certified Firestone experts are ready to get you back up and running, no matter if you're on site or in the field, saving you time and money. OK Tire, we keep the tough going.
At North Star Ag, we're more than your short line machinery dealer. We're also full service, and we're farmers first. That means we know it's not about what's best, but what's best for your farm. Whether you're planting, growing, or harvesting, we're there for all your equipment, parts, and service needs. And we've been doing it since 2009, with the largest inventory and availability in the area. Check us out at northstar-ag.com or call us at 701-361-4790.
Celebrate National Ag Week by attending the 39th Annual Agweek Farm Show, March 23rd and 24th at farmshow.agweek.com. This year's show is virtual, and Agweek's Michelle Rook will be talking to Gabe Brown on soil health, Mary Kay Thatcher on egg policy, and a panel of experts on what's happening in the markets. Register early for a chance to win prizes. Learn more at farmshow.agweek.com.
The 39th Annual Agweek Farm Show would like to thank the following sponsors: ABC Drones, Elder Law Office of Julianne Kosher, Express Pressure Washer, Wagner Allure, Operation Dignity International. Visit farmshow.agweek.com for more information.
Some things in life are hard. That's why banking shouldn't be. Cornerstone Bank.
The region has long had a shortage of meat processing facilities, leading to backups for producers and consumers. COVID really brought the issue into the spotlight. So in Minnesota, the state ag department is making some changes to increase local meat processing. Noah Fish has more in this week's Agweek cover story.
Adam Bowman raises Simmental Angus cattle in southeast Minnesota. He's wanted to put a slaughter meat market on his farm for a long time, but the township wouldn't allow it. So recently, Bowman bought a meat market in Pine Island where he can slaughter, process, and sell his own meat.
We don't have to struggle to get our cows in anymore when we sell beefs and halves and quarters to people. So from now on, we'll be a lot better off because we have our own market to slaughter our own cows in.
Bowman's timing seems to be right. When COVID disrupted production at meat processing plants around the country, people quickly pivoted to buying locally, or at least they tried to.
Before COVID, we already had a backup, and it was a top priority for the department to address this issue.
Minnesota Ag Commissioner Tom Peterson says the department has worked to connect producers with openings at processing plants, but it has also fast-tracked getting about 20 new plants running. They're also making grants available for smaller plants and producers to increase direct marketing. Peterson thinks it's a trend that will continue beyond COVID.
What's going to be interesting is, do the consumers continue to keep buying locally, which I think they will in big numbers.
In a recent survey by the Minnesota Farmers Union, over half the respondents said that they would raise more livestock if there was more processing available. 64% of the farmers surveyed said that processing was inadequate in the state even before the pandemic. In Pine Island, Minnesota, this is Noah Fish for Agweek.
The Minnesota Ag Department has an interactive map to find a meat processor near you. You can read more on this story in the next Agweek magazine or at agweek.com. The spring auction season is heating back up, and so is interest in land and farm equipment across the region. Heifers held the first auction at their new facility south of Sioux Falls with a great crowd. Manager Chris Bear says both land and machinery markets have been hot. The low interest rate environment helps, as well as the improving ag economy.
We're seeing record-breaking, historically high land prices and equipment prices both. With the increase in commodity prices, the machinery seems to be following the commodity prices right now. New equipment is a little bit short, which drives the used machinery market.
Bear says they've offered a hybrid of in-person and online auctions during the pandemic. However, as restrictions ease, they will be doing more live auctions while still leveraging the online technology. Farmers in the region continue to strive for higher crop yields and profits. For soybeans, the goal is to push past the 100-bushel mark. SDSU and industry experts shared weather and agronomic insights on how to achieve that at this year's Soy 100, put on by the South Dakota Soybean Research and Promotion Council. Farmers learned there's no silver bullet to high yields. It's a combination of factors, including weed and pest management, fertility, varietal selection, and improving soil health.
While we realize right now it's not always economically feasible, we learn all along the way the different things we can do to try to reach that 100-bushel level in soybeans.
Speakers also shared the grain market outlook and strategies for the upcoming crop season. A North Dakota farmer has high praise for a government official whose efforts saved him hundreds of thousands of dollars in crop insurance losses. Kelly Grotti's crop insurance rates had tripled over 7 years, from about $50 an acre to $165. Grotti discovered the hike was based in part on another Grand Forks County grower's fraudulent claims of loss. He contacted Sheila Shank with USDA's Risk Management Agency's regional office in Billings, Montana, to see if there was a remedy.
It's such a small pool, so if somebody has a loss, it's a huge difference for us. But she came out and said she would fix it and figure out an equitable way of doing it.
Shank was true to her word, bringing their rates back down for the same coverage.
It's a nice feeling that a program works for people, for producers.
Grotti says he had considered going with catastrophic coverage, which is low cost but offers almost no protection. Still ahead on our show, it's an extra busy time of year for one Class B coach in ranching.
Superior Grain Equipment offers you the industry's best dryer and grain handling equipment. So make the superior choice and get higher quality grains, test weights, and prices while using half the energy. Superior Grain Equipment.
The 39th Annual Agweek Farm Show would like to thank the following sponsors: ABC Drones, Elder Law Office of Julianne Kosher, Express Pressure Washer, Wagner A-Lure, Operation Dignity International. Visit farmshow.agweek.com for more information.
When the water's high and your yields are low, 'cause your fields have no place for water to flow, just one call takes care of it all. Call on Field Drainage Incorporated. Call on Field Drainage Incorporated. Call on Field Drainage. The experts in the field.
Salty soils? Meet Calcine, one of the quickest and most effective way to fix salty soils. It's natural, it's easy to use, and most importantly, it works. On sodic soils, on saline soils, on all soils. Put calcium to work leaching salt below the root zone and out of your field, resulting in less compaction, better irrigation, improved health, and lots of these guys for your soil. And higher quality forage, greater yields, and lower bottom line production costs for you. With more than 20 years of use in the industry and a proven track record of bringing life back to challenging soils, you can trust Calcine to ensure your fields are their most productive. Calcine, let's create healthier soils. To learn more about how Calcine can improve the productivity of your fields, contact Jim Erickson or visit calcine.us.
Go beyond the headlines with an Agweek membership. Get in-depth agribusiness reporting, original farm and ranch stories, and fact-based research for the most comprehensive ag news in the upper Midwest. Experienced ag journalists bring you exclusive ag news, insights, and policy updates you won't find anywhere else. Become a member today and get unlimited access to Agweek and AgweekTV.
This week's weather brought some much-needed moisture to parts of the region. Will there be any follow-up? Here's Andrew with our AgriWeather Outlook.
As we continue into mid-March and now eventually going into the later half of March, our snow depth countrywide is really starting to dwindle quite a bit. In fact, really the only decent snow depth right now outside of the Rocky Mountains is across the parts of South Dakota and parts of southwestern and central parts of Minnesota from that recent snow system that we had early on in the week up across the North Dakota, northwestern Minnesota. Hardly any snow at all left on the ground except for areas along and south of I-94, just a few patches here or there that likely will dissipate here in the next week or so. And again, down across parts of South Dakota and parts of northwestern tier of Nebraska, still a little bit of snow on the ground, but I do expect this map to really dwindle the snow depth here as we go throughout the next 1 to 2 weeks. And I know a lot of folks asking, when is our last snowflakes done falling from the sky? Are we done just yet? Well, if we base it on the data overall, our average last snowfall across the central and northern plains happens around early to middle April, but the record latest, 28th of May in Duluth, 24th, the record latest in May in Minneapolis, Sioux Falls, 18th of May for that record latest snowfall. Grand Forks, Fargo, North Dakota coming in at the end of May as well. Minot, one of the last locations here, unfortunately for the northern plains for the record latest, June 3rd. Hopefully that does not happen this year, and it doesn't look like that trend will continue. Again, we've had a mild spring, and that trend looks to continue. Here's a look at our March 10th through the 16th precipitation overall from this past week. Again, not a whole lot of moisture for areas that really could use it across the northern tier of the Dakotas here, with only 1/10 of an inch of moisture at best here. Meanwhile, that system off to the south of the central plains, Denver up around Casper, Wyoming, picking up some much needed moisture, anywhere from that 2 to to 4 inch mark. And overall, that's still leading to drought conditions across a good chunk of the plains and Four Corners, still dealing with that severe drought out across the western parts of the Dakotas. And meanwhile, again, Denver up towards Casper, that moisture did help across some of the areas across the Denver and Casper area as far as those drought conditions are concerned with that recent system. Precipitation outlook March 20th through the 27th. Overall, we will see some moisture sneaking its way in here, but a small chance of moisture for the central and northern plains here as we go throughout this last full week of March. And overall, temperatures are going to stay somewhat mild. We're going to see the northern jet dipping down just a little bit here and there, and that'll bring some cooler temperatures at times. We're talking cooler temperatures, meaning highs only into those 40s, lower 50s. Meanwhile, 50s and 60s for the central and southern plains, and this trend looks to kind of continue as we finish out this last full week of March. And as we head into the last few days of March and into the first week in April here, overall dry conditions are going to continue across the plains and western with very small chances of moisture through mid-April.
This is Dennis Belisky reminding you we do auctions and we do them well. You've built your operation with hard work, and when it's time to sell, all or part, you deserve the best. Details from repairs and preparation to promotion and settlements are not routine. Chances are you'll only do this once, so we'll tailor an auction just for you and get it done right. On site at your farm or added to one of our highly successful Alaris Center auctions, we have the skill, reputation, and integrity to meet your needs with best-in-class commitment and quality service. Find us at resourceauction.com or call 701-757-4015.
Dig, lay, and bury drain tile all in one pass with the Crary Tile Pro Plow. The Crary Tile Pro Plow lays tile up to 7 feet deep with boot sizes of 4 to 12 inches. Advantages of installing drain tile to your field provides increased overall yield, improved soil moisture levels, and controls soil erosion. It pays to tile with a Crary Tile Pro. To locate a dealer near you, visit www.crarytilepro.com.
With the success of the Case IH Tiger Quad Track and Magnum Road Track tractors, it's no secret why Case IH is the leader of the track. So it wasn't surprising when the competition started imitating us. But only Case IH offers a 5-axle design to give you a smoother ride, more power to the ground, with less berming and compaction. Still, we're flattered. In fact, if we weren't already red, we'd be blushing.
Schedule an uptime inspection for your equipment with the Case IH service professionals at your local Titan Machinery. Our Case IH certified service technicians have the training, experience, and genuine Case IH parts to ensure your equipment is ready for next season. Planting and harvesting windows are short. Have confidence in your equipment's performance with a Titan Machinery multi-point uptime inspection. Titan Machinery, your local Case IH service leader.
Acreage Farms of Ada, Minnesota will be holding their annual bull and female sale March 27th at 1:30 p.m. To request your catalog today, go to www.dakitchfarm.com. That is DAKITCH farms.com. 53 yearling Angus and Polled Hereford bulls, along with 1 elite Hereford herd sire and 6 open fancy Angus heifer calves.
With 62 years of experience, the annual Dakitch Farms bull and female sale March 27th, 1:30 p.m. Go online, Dakitch Farms.
The Agweek Livestock Tour is sponsored by Transova and the Stockman's Livestock Exchange.
Hogs are big business for a Southwest Minnesota family, and the next generation is adding cattle to the mix. Mikkel Pates visits the Abeling family as our Agweek Livestock Tour continues.
We have 3 different sites. This one is a wean to finish site.
Lane Abeling and his cousin Corey are contract hog growers and farmers. The cousins contract feed about 8,000 pigs at any given time, about 24,000 in a year, in hog buildings they either own or manage. Lane says it's been a good business.
It has, and it helped us start farming and to purchase land and to buy out our parents. So it's been huge for me and Corey.
The Abelings use a manure to feed about 700 acres of the 3,700 acres of corn and soybeans, but it doesn't stop with pork. Lane's son Josiah always wanted to join the operation. 2 years ago, he moved on to his grandparents' farmstead and placed about 500 steers on a neighbor's custom cattle lot.
Growing up, I always kind of wanted to
be on the farm with Dad and help him out. And I always liked dealing with cattle, and I got into feeding cattle.
Josiah would like to grow to 1,000 steers in the next couple of years, possibly creating his own feedlot. He takes about 60 steers a year to a locker plant for local customers. Eventually, he'd like to gather a group of farmers to go into a packing enterprise.
And I think there needs to be more packers, more competition out there.
So mixing some experience with some new energy in the livestock business in southwest Minnesota. For Agweek, this is Mikkel Pates at Trimont, Minnesota.
This is a busy time of year for another livestock producer. Kevin Strobel raises 400 cows on his Cullum, North Dakota farm, but has also been the head boys basketball coach for the Edgeley Cullum Montpelier Cooperative for 18 years. This weekend is the state Class B boys basketball championship, so to balance it all, he depends on help from his dad.
It's not only during the season, we also do a lot of summer stuff. It gets quite busy between doing chores in the morning and going to practice in the afternoon.
The schools have been co-opted for 14 years, but it's been decades since any of the teams made it to state. Strobel's team qualified for state last year too, but it was canceled because of COVID. Ahead on AgweekTV, what does Kristen Clark have cooking this month?
The best land rollers in the industry are built right here in North Dakota. And now, they carry a 10-year factory warranty. With sizes from 15 to 91 feet, Summers has the right fit for any operation. Go to summersmfg.com or visit your local dealer to learn more about the full line of Summers field-tested tough equipment.
Steffes Group, selling land and the equipment to farm it since 1960. If you're interested in selling or have questions about our auction process, head to our website at steffesgroup.com to contact us at any one of our 4 locations located throughout the Midwest. You can also visit and subscribe to our YouTube channel to view all of our auction previews and recaps to stay up to date on the market in your area.
Growing up as a kid, Gateway was always the grain bin building and the grain handling people that were out in our area. One of the reasons we chose to go with Gateway was they're the leader in the industry and they are the #1 Brock dealer in the United States. We've really liked the Brock design and some of the designs that Gateway has come up with throughout the years. My best advice would be to just put your trust in them and let them come up with the design that's going to fit your needs.
Challenges. We all face them at some time. But it seems that ag has seen its fair share over the past few years. Has your farming operation been able to stand the challenges? If not, maybe it's time to talk to the risk management specialist at Martinson Ag. We can help you make the sound decisions to help your operation weather the storm. Martinson Ag, your one-stop shop for crop insurance, livestock insurance, and marketing. We are here to take your operation to the next level.
Agweek brings you timely agriculture news from field to fork in digital, print, and television. Fresh every week, join Jenny Schlecht from the Agweek editorial team and me, Al Windmill, from the sales and marketing team for a deeper dive into farm and ranch stories, along with guest interviews with personalities from the world of agriculture. If you're involved in farming, ranching, or agribusiness, the Agweek podcast is the show for you.
Kristen Clark, the Iowa farmer who writes the Food and Swine blog, is also a monthly Agweek magazine columnist. This week she shares a video recipe with readers and viewers. It's a taste of spring and summer, homemade lemonade. You can go to agweek.com and watch Clark make flavored lemonades. And a reminder to join us next week, March 23rd and 24th, for the Agweek Virtual Farm Show. We have a great lineup of speakers, panel discussions, vendors, and prize giveaways. You can find out more at agweek.com. Thanks for watching this week's edition of AgweekTV. Remember, for all your ag news, go to agweek.com, and you can follow us on Facebook and Twitter as well. Have yourself a great and safe week.